You know the drill. It's Prep Sports Now. Case Kiefer here with Ray Brewer. We talked about last week, not the best slate of games after a few were canceled, but we'll break down those games and get to the picks as usual. Where do we start reacting to this diminished schedule of games we saw last Friday, Ray?
Yes, some interesting results, Case. You could go the rematch of last year's state championship game or the last two state championship games with Shadow Ridge getting its revenge against Silverado. Of course, two vastly different rosters, right? Foothill being shut out in the second half against Sierra Vista, still managing to win, but being shut out. Or what about the shootout? Basic 50, Las Vegas 43. I had the over, so I was good.
Did you?
No, but I used that joke with Cahill and he chuckled a little bit, so I felt good about myself.
Didn't I pick the Cats in this game? I think that was the one opportunity. I was so close.
But it was a great game, a lot of offense back and forth. Obviously, when you get 93 combined points. And maybe the upset of the week, Boulder City, the Screaming Eagles, 4-1 on the year, beat Virgin Valley 28-14. I was shocked at that because I was very close to picking Virgin over Moapa this year. Love Virgin, love the quarterback, love the wide receivers. Going through everybody, Moapa absolutely destroyed Boulder City. It was like 48-9. And then Boulder flips it 28-14.
Yeah, I'm pretty shocked by that, especially by the score. I mean, I could see you could have told me that it's going to be a close game at the end and maybe Boulder City makes one more play, and maybe that is what happened. I don't have the play-by-play or details in front of me, but 14 points, that really jumps out to me. I'm pretty surprised Boulder City won by that much. I would have been really shocked a few weeks ago. I know I kind of planted my flag in Virgin Valley at the beginning of the year and said they were going to be my team. I feel like I've kind of switched and been high on Slam lately, so maybe not as shocked. I think Slam's been maybe the more impressive 3A side, but still, I did not see that upset coming. I'm disappointed. My Cats couldn't get it done the one time I pick on them, and you don't. Super close though. What a shootout! That was a fun one. And what was the other? Oh yeah, Foothill 21 to Sierra Vista 12. I feel like I couldn't pull the trigger, but I told you don't sleep on Sierra Vista and that they were going to be offended. You had them losing by like, I don't know, 28 points or something. I knew they could keep this one close. That one's really shocked me.
I guess my thing, CK, is
they've got some guys on that defense.
I understand. So here's my deal with Foothill. They're the team to beat, in my opinion, in the Division II, right? The 5A Division II. They got to get through Faith, but I just don't think Faith could score with Foothill. But then maybe Foothill is listening to me say that, and they go out and they lay a goose egg in the second half. Like, is this a team that, when the playoffs come, are going to rise to the occasion and be the best team?
I mean, why are we hating on them so much? They still won by more than a touchdown. Sierra Vista, is it possible that Sierra Vista's just good? You should give us some credit.
And they got a good quarterback.
Footill's defense had to step up and stop him. But it's not like you don't win. You could say, okay, their offense was disappointing. What about the defense? Obviously had a good game.
Defense rallied. But let me put it to you this way, CK. Last 2 years in that classification, who's the team to beat?
I thought this was an all-new classification.
But yeah, it's kind of like you're right. Okay. Specifics. But it's like the new 4A, basically, right?
Okay.
Who was the team to beat in the 4A last year? Silverado.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Who was the second team behind Silverado?
Shadow.
Every week, Silverado kicked the crap out of everybody. Every week, Shadow Ridge beat everybody. That might not be a great word to use on a podcast, right? No question about it. Silverado, undefeated, didn't lose a game in 2 years, set school scoring records, sent kids to D1 football. They were the cream of the crop. Everybody knew they were going to lose against Silverado. They were Bishop Gorman. Foothill's not Bishop Gorman.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just feel like it's unrealistic.
Basic thinks they could beat Foothill. Green Valley this week plays Foothill and thinks they could beat Foothill. I think Foothill's the team to beat. They got the best quarterback.
Yeah, I just think, it was obviously a really special case with Silverado built there and all they had to come together with those kids. Maybe you did. I never conflated Foothill being at that level of Silverado. I mean, and last year, Silverado's coming off already winning one state championship. Foothill's kind of like the upstart that's doing it all now, and I don't know. I don't hold them to that standard. I guess
Foothill's
that's why I'm not.
In my opinion, Foothill's the 5th best team in town. Gorman, Liberty 1 and 2, right?
Okay.
Arbor 3, Desert Pines a close 4, Foothill 5.
Who else is in the conversation?
Shadow 6, even though they lost to Coronado.
Yeah.
Right? Where's Faith? They can't score.
Yeah.
They're winning every game on a 57-yard field goal.
Yeah, well, maybe that's fair. I don't know. We just had different expectations going into this game. I thought I double checked that you had them losing by 30, Sierra Vista, and I remember calling you out and saying that was a little much. I don't know. I think Sierra Vista's good, Foothill's good, and hey, a championship team. You can just flip this the other way and say the championship team, like almost always, you're not going to have your best on one night, and then it's to the other part of the team to uplift you. And to me, the defense did that. On Friday night and kept Foothill perfect.
Like I was hating on Foothill, who I like.
Well, I think you're just being critical, which is fair. I just think that maybe they weren't
cool children. CK.
Well, no, why do we even do this to discuss it?
I just
can't just hype up everyone.
I just think for me the sky's the limit with this team, right?
Yeah, and I just don't think they took a very big step back in reaching that sky.
I mean, if you're calling Card as this quarterback, he should not have 2 or 3 interceptions, and you should not be hoping that you get by Sierra Vista.
I just think maybe you're underestimating Sierra Vista. Weren't they mad all year because they feel like they have a good team and you pick them to get blown out by 30 points or something?
True. That's very true.
I just think Sierra Vista might be a little bit better.
I just think people might put too much stock in what we say.
Well, that's definitely true. But
I am like 17-2 every week.
Okay, well, not definitely.
But you're right. Definitely. I think, for example, like I picked my anyone have a coin game last week.
What was that?
I'm not going to call the guy out on the show.
Okay.
But anyways, the guy texted me the final score, and he's like, hardly anyone has a coin. I'm like, all right, dude, take it easy. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'm going to have to figure out what game.
So now it's like, not only do I have to pick you to win, I have to pick you to win by a certain amount, or I've done a disservice to your program.
Yeah. There were more coin flip games though than we expected last week. I think another one I don't know if you touched on, but 2 teams that we did, at least historically, Shadow Ridge gets out some frustration from losing to Silverado the last couple of years in that 4A because they crushed the Skyhawks this time around 28-12.
Yeah, it was a good win. Cone Column, who's been there for forever, right? I mean, 3-year starter, didn't have that 4th year because of COVID. And just the amount of games they've won. And, Shadow, unfortunately, the next 2 weeks, Gorman Liberty, and then a playoff match that's going to be tough. So just a great run for that program. They went from a team that needed to establish itself to a program that is mentioned among some of the state's best. So all credit to them, and good for some of those kids who've been around that lost in both of those state championship games to get their revenge against
Silverado.
What about two teams three teams we might be overlooking a little bit? Okay, 4 teams. Sunrise Mountain.
I have not. Don't tell me I'm overlooking Sunrise Mountain.
Okay.
All year I've been telling you've been overlooking them, but I'm glad you came around.
They're just beating everybody.
Yep.
But for me, what's going to happen when they play like a Centennial or a Canyon? Because that's Gorman and Liberty, Centennial and Canyon, right?
I can't keep track. There's too many Gormans and Liberties.
If Sunrise was playing Centennial today, Centennial would be a 14-point favorite, right?
Yeah, seems about fair. I would definitely be picking Centennial.
Yeah.
Maybe only 10 out of respect to Sunrise.
I just think Sunrise is the best, East Las Vegas school. Like, they're going to beat El Dorado and Valley and probably my Shav Cowboys, right? They're probably better than like a Bonanza or a Western. But are they in the same jurisdiction as Centennial?
No, but they probably shouldn't have to be. It's a different situation.
And that's where I think Centennial is such an edge. Like, no matter how bad they were the last few years since they went to the state game, they still have 5,000 kids at that school.
Yeah,
And Sunrise Mountain, there's 13 kids total.
exactly. So who are the other teams that were sleeping on? You said there were four. You only named one.
Well, first of all, I think we might have touched on this last week, so it might be a little redundant, but what about the Cougars of Coronado?
Yeah, they smashed Palo. I believe you called for that, though.
I called for that, but Sean Dupree, first year, great job. Speaking about a lot of kids in the program, right?
Yeah.
A nice little quarterback, Aiden Cross. Love what the Cougars are doing. Obviously in a tough league in the big class, but shout out to Sean Dupree, first year, former Bonanza coach, former DeMonte Ranch coach in Reno, and getting it done over at Coronado. So shout out to them. And what about the Legacy Longhorns? What's your take on Legacy?
I thought that might be where you were going.
Really?
Yeah, well, I saw the score, 48-0. And they've been pretty solid all year, right? They've been good, so it makes sense to me.
And they outkicked their coverage a little bit in the preseason with some tough games, but they're 3-0 in league. And as I like to say, they got live action. They'll be humbled this week. They play Arborview in that Battle of the Bulls game. That thankfully they've kept on the schedule. And what a perfect spot for Arborview, right? Let's go out. Let's play a little disciplined football. Let's, because the quarterback's out for the year. So let's get our quarterback some good reps. Let's figure out how we're going to look and feel the rest of the way. Let's be disciplined. Let's beat a team we should beat. Move on to the next game.
Sounds good to me, and sounds like a good segue into the picks. Do you want to get into them?
Let's go, baby.
Well, why don't we just start there? Our review at Legacy. I'm a little surprised by your score here. Not that, in no way would I pick against Arborview, but all that you just said, Arborview losing their quarterback, maybe a little rusty after a week off. I haven't played in a while. They're really just going to go out and absolutely bulldoze Legacy. I don't know. I think Legacy keeps it somewhat respectable.
So I'm under the mindset that Arborview, there's two ways that Arborview and Desert Pines could go, right? They could say, okay, hey, we had a little hiccup here. We lost the game. We're going to savor the rest of the season, come out and give it our best. And it starts Friday night. We're going to make a statement. Or they could say, you know what? The season's lost. They took a game for us. Screw it. We're just going to go through the motions and get the basketball and rest. You got two ways to look at it. It's either A, let's just stop playing. Gorman and Liberty, get your tickets for Allegiant Stadium. Get ready to play in the game, which probably will happen. Or let me go out there for the month of October and do everything I can to savor this experience and be a darn good high school football player and to be disciplined and to get a W. And I think Arborview comes out refreshed. I think they're crisp. The week off is a blessing. They don't get banged up against Gorman, right? They're not the prop for Gorman's homecoming game. Quarterback gets some practice reps. They come out, they're crisp, they're disciplined, they make a statement. Go Aggies.
Yeah, I think
in the locker room.
I think Arborview wins, and I think it is more of the latter, but I just think Legacy can maybe stop them a little more than you're giving them credit. But both of us on Arborview, is this the first game you have listed, the Thursday night game, Green Valley and Foothill, or no?
I don't
know. Showcase game.
I don't know the where I get nobody sends me a schedule because it's the Las Vegas Sun. You got to hunt and gather to find it. And Max Preps doesn't have a game for Thursday. So there may be a Thursday game. I don't know. I put Foothill Green Valley first because, in my opinion, it's the game of the week. And I like the Falcons because I think they've got arguably the best quarterback in town. Of note, the quarterback at Green Valley used to be the Foothill quarterback, and now he's the Green Valley quarterback.
Oh,
so
interesting.
A little side story there.
Yeah, I like that. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Foothill as well, but I think this will be another close game for the second straight week for Foothill. Another one, 2 for 2. I think that the final score will be closer than you have it. I think Green Valley still has a lot of upside. I like Foothill better, but I think it'll be a close game. I'll go with Foothill. Another former big-time rivalry. We go from the Battle of the Bulls in the first game to what I believe this was the Victory Bell, Silverado hosting Liberty.
Silverado Liberty, you're right. Neighborhood rivals. What's that Silverado Ranch that connects them?
Yeah, sounds right.
Right over there behind Target.
Yeah.
Liberty kills them.
Yeah, Liberty
Liberty.
easily here. Basic at Clark.
Basic all day. I think Basic's got a chance to really upset some people when it gets into the playoffs. And they could score. So it's just, I watched them play on TV. I was very impressed. The Vega kid, he'll make you cry if you let him.
Yeah, no upset here. Basic easily. How about Mojave at Cheyenne? Do you have this as a coin flip game?
I got Mojave all the way.
Yeah, Mojave should win this one. Virgin Valley and Slam. This was before last week. I think we would have been way more excited about this one. Can Virgin Valley bounce back?
I'd love to figure out what happened in that game. I didn't get any intel. So I'm going into this blind. I don't know if I would have picked Virgin in this spot. I think I was going to go with Slam regardless. Like if I would have done the picks last week, but how could you not go with Slam now?
Don't you always tell me Slam has no home field advantage?
Well, yeah, but
maybe they do in this case because from Mesquite.
Yeah, but it just I don't know what happened to Virgin. For all we know, they sat their top 3 players so they didn't get hurt for this game. So it's a complete mystery.
Did Slam just destroy Moapa?
No, yeah. Well, it got away from Moapa late, but yeah, they destroyed him.
Yeah, if that game was just a little closer, I think I'd have the confidence to go with the upset here. I really want to do it, but I don't know. Last week, losing by 14. I think Slam's the favorite. It's not in Virgin, right?
No, it's
I think Slam's definitely the favorite. Okay. I'm toying with picking the upset, but I just can't quite pull the trigger. So I'm gonna have to go with you and go with Slam.
Okay.
All right, Las Vegas at Sierra Vista.
Las Vegas at Sierra Vista. My kitty cat CK have only won 1 game this year.
Well, here you can pick them to do another one. Here,
this is my anyone have a coin game. I got Sierra Vista.
Anyone have a coin? You just said Las Vegas only won 1 game. Put some respect on the Mountain Lions. Every week, 2 down on this team. I got Sierra Vista by double digits.
Do you really?
Yeah, Sierra Vista's good. I keep trying to tell you.
-10?
No, that being I think a fair would be like you say it's a coin game. I say it's 10. You have it 1, I have it 10. So if we meet in the middle, it's what, 4.5? I'd be fine with that. That's meeting in the middle. 1 to 10. That's 9. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. Huh?
You got to round up to like 6.5.
No, you have it a 1-point game. I have it a 10-point game. Yeah, the middle's 4.5.
No, the middle I get a little extra because I got the dog.
No, okay. You have it a 1-point game. I have it 10.
I'm not taking plus. Oh, whatever. We both got Vista. That's the. You got Vista too, right?
Or I could give you 5, I guess, if you really want.
No. I just tried to cheat.
Spring Valley at Palo Verde.
PV Nation. If they're not in the state game, I'm shocked.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Spring Valley, it seems like kind of sliding. After you pointed out that legacy defeat last week, I'm going with Palo Verde. Faith Lutheran at Durango, you sound a little down on the Crusaders, probably rightfully so. Any chance they're in trouble again this week?
I think they're undefeated in league, so I'm not down on the Crusaders.
Well, you thought their offense would be better. I think you are. I think compared to the beginning of the season, you thought they'd be better than they are right now.
They need to figure out how to get the ball in the end zone a little more. I've got Faith winning. Nice, Caden Critton in with 9 field goals or whatever to Durango's touchdown.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Durango's not a walkover, but Faith should win this one. Bishop Gorman at Shadow Ridge.
Yeah, that's Bishop Gorman.
Yeah, I think Gorman.
You find it comical that they got to drive almost to Utah to play the game, though. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. Long trip for Gorman, but yeah, I think they'll be just fine. Desert Pines at Coronado.
Big spot for Desert Pines. Replay everything I said about Arbor View, right?
Yeah, I kind of replay the same things I said too. I think both Desert Pines and Arborview win this week, but I don't know if they're necessarily just going to be all that sharp and blow out these teams. I think it'll be 2 close-ish games where Desert Pines and Arborview ultimately prevail.
I think Desert Pines has so much more speed and athleticism that if they come out there rejuvenated, I think this could get ugly. I
Okay.
think there's a severe
Coronado's been good though this year. You were just singing their praises.
Shadow. I mean, no offense to Shadow Ridge. I love Shadow Ridge, but Shadow Ridge doesn't have Jimmy's and Joe's. That's
All right.
Coronado on the other side of town. Similar demographics. Desert Pines has got Greg Burrell.
But I don't
He
understand
can dunk a basketball.
if you believe this, I feel like you should have picked a different score. We don't even really disagree that much. I think I said, or I don't know if I said it. What I was thinking was DP by 14. You have them by 18. It's basically the same.
Well, Desert Pines gives up a few late ones.
Okay. All right. Well, we're on the, even though it sounds like we're disagreeing, we're on the same page for this one. How about Valley at El Dorado? El Dorado, Cimarron at
Desert Oasis.
This is a close game though. Could go
either way.
Cimarron could pull this off, but
I was a little shocked that Cimarron lost to Clark last week because remember Clark had only scored like 7 points all year.
That was their first win of the year, right?
Correct.
So shout out to the Chargers. Yeah, I think Desert Oasis gets that done. Thanks for that reminder. Pahrump Valley at Moapa Valley. Talk about a road trip. Here's one.
Yeah, I got Moapa.
Yeah, Moapa shouldn't have an issue here. How about Boulder City coming off that huge win? Now they are hosting Democracy Prep, who's pulled some surprises this year. They've been tough. Could it be another wild 3A result?
They got a dub last week against one of the charter schools. I got Boulder City just based on the fact they beat Virgin.
Yeah, I'm going to go Boulder City, but I think this one, I guess close games is just my theme. I feel like there's been a lot more close games this year, I guess, with the realignment. I think this one will be somewhat close too, but I'll go with BC. Western at Bonanza.
Western's not beating anybody.
Yeah, Bonanza doesn't seem like they're really anything to write home about either. But
may I also give a shout out to Western's, I think it's 65-67 state championship team. They were honored at the school. Real nice ceremony last Friday. The Warriors had a bye. Listen, Western won 3 in a row in the 60s. Vegas's 1940 team didn't give up a point. Gorman's won 15 of the last 17. Is Gorman going to win 28 of the next 30? Am I going to retire in 20 years? Or I'm 47. I got 20 years left.
I mean, yeah, I don't. I think that would have to
am
be
I going to retire with Gorman have won 38 of the 40 state championships at the end of my tenure?
I mean, unless they stop playing the Nevada competition, right? Okay. That's the only route I see. I mean, maybe someone pulls a Liberty again and beats them the one year, but
yeah,
I can't imagine them losing more than 1 or maybe 2 in the next 20 years at the current rate. But we have one more game. We don't want to get too far ahead or too far back. You're throwing back to the 1940s. Man, that's a minute ago. Canyon Springs at Chaparral to finish things off. Of course, you put this one last because you don't want to pick it because I think you know what's going to happen.
I think everybody knows what's going to happen.
Yeah,
no big secret.
You tried to bury it. You're trying to not acknowledge the reality.
It's Canyon Springs all over my Cowboys, who have won 3 in a row, but let's bury the lead, CK.
No, good for the Cowboys. Have won 3 in a row, but Canyon Springs won like 6 in a row or something, right? They haven't not been beaten, and I don't think that the Cowboys are going to be the ones to do it. I've got Canyon as well. Thanks for listening to this week's Prep Sports Now. Any parting thoughts, Ray?
Have a great, fun Friday night.
All right, do that, and we will be back next week to discuss everything that transpired this week. Thanks, as always, for listening.